Well, hello there, Minecrafters. There is pretty cool looking. How are you guys? Thanks for coming by. We're back in Diversity, talking about the map I made. This is a developer's commentary. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the series so far. We are almost finished. You can see we have 2 left. And based on, I think, 1 comment, we're going to go into the survival branch. So that tells me that Labyrinthian is basically the least popular. We'll talk about that next time. But we're going to head into the survival branch, and before I do, as always, spoilers. Don't watch if you haven't played, but obviously you're here because you have played. So let us head into the survival branch, and the first thing you see is the up sign, and you notice what on earth is all the bedrock doing up there. This branch was kind of halfway in between my build process. It was a huge relief. It kind of made the map speed go downhill, so I was able to catch up. And before this one, I was working on the arena branch, and I was getting very annoyed and frustrated, just tired of building those things. And then this one went really quick. So the way I built this was I just took a complete copy from a vanilla world. Nothing in this entire map is altered, except I put that tree there, I put the mobs there, and I built this. Everything else is completely vanilla. So that is really lucky that there is a mine shaft under here, because when I originally put the map out, I didn't even know there was a mine shaft under there, and somebody posted, "Oh man, so lucky, excellent choice." And I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, there's a mine shaft under there." I said, "There's a mine shaft under there?" So, yeah, for people who thought, "Oh no, the tree didn't give any saplings," there's tons of wood under there. And I think you can see it. Yeah, you can see it right there. You can see the entrance right there to the mine shaft. That as well I didn't add. But, yeah, there's the mine shaft. So why did I do the survival branch? Well, the survival branch was my very first idea for a branch. I definitely knew I wanted to do a survival genre in the Diversity map, but I wasn't entirely sure how to do it, because you can't have a redstone map that is completely black and white, yes, you completed this task, or no, you didn't, commands, and then do a survival map that is all based basically on the person's honor. Like the honor system. You can't do that. This doesn't match. So my idea was, this thing up here was this system where the hopper like basically works like the let's destroy the outer layer here. Basically works like the monument. If you haven't seen that episode, it's the first episode. I explain in detail how that sorting system works. It's pretty much the same, just condensed, very much a lot smaller in this. I really worked hard on trying to get it compact. Is pretty difficult. Let's go around to here, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, how do I get in? Guess we probably have to go in from the bottom. I don't want to break anything quite yet. So here you have the when you pile up there, like when you pile your dirt up. Everyone I've seen does the same thing. Does dirt. I kind of planned it that way. Survival says you have to collect these items. So here we go. And there are only 8 items, but it does take a while to get depending on your skill level. And they're purposely picked. Some of these things, like, they're pretty spread out, I think. Like bread's pretty easy. Powered rail, you got to go get gold. There's some mining ones. I tried to make it so you had to get certain items that you had to get other items to craft into, just to give it a well-rounded collection process. The other thing is, the reason there's 8 is because that's the most I could fit in this collection section right here. So here we go. I'm going to show you the redstone here. You toss it down the hopper. Well, if you do, like, if you put something that's not allowed down the hopper, you'll see a little message pops up here. It says item not required. You have to have actually the specific items. That's what I love about this survival branch, is you can't really cheat it. I mean, you could cheat it if you go in creative mode, but you can't it's a redstone. Like, it's not a word of, like, a, what's the word? It's not honor system. So the way it works anyway is, let's see, there is a hopper. Where is that hopper? This hopper right here. This is the collection hopper right here. And items will drop, and if you watch my first episode on the monument, you can see it all travels around in a circle. So depending on where the item is going to be, it will land. It'll travel all the way around, counterclockwise. And then if the item underneath can accept it, so this is looking for TNT, the TNT will go down there. And let's just get a TNT to show you how that works. Is you'll see this needs one more item to light up. So I put one more TNT, and there you go. It just lit up, and it turned this torch off, which this says TNT collected. But I also, with MBT Edit, you can do some neat things. You might be able to do this with the new Minecraft. I don't know. I changed the custom name to a check mark, which ends up putting the when the command block says it, it puts it into a like square bracket. So I thought that looked kind of neat. And then TNT's italicized. This is a bit of a bug in 1.7, so I would recommend playing this map at 1.6.4 or 1.6.2. 1.7 changed the text so that, well, I have actually a puzzle thing that messes it up. Anyway, what was I saying? So it turns that torch off, which ends up, when all the torches are turned off, then the AND gate can activate these command blocks. And then the reset are these command blocks. So it's pretty packed up here. But basically, one side sends you back to the hub. The other side gives you the wool and sends you back to the hub. But you can see when all the items have been collected, these torches will turn off. So this one here is... which one is this? This one's the flower pots. So if I put a flower pot in the correct... I think if I put one here, notice that torch just went out there, and then it says flower pot collected. And all the bad items, now this is one problem, because I wanted to make it so compact, I wasn't really sure how else to do this, is that all the bad items go in here, and you could eventually fill up that chest. You'd need to put a lot of stuff in there, and then you could mess up the whole system. So that's a look at the redstone of that. Now, I'm just going to change time setting to 6,000. So it's daytime. Now, here we have the one tree. Like I said, I added that. I definitely wanted a island survival style map, kind of reminiscent of that old, one of the first survival island things. But just one tree that you have to, collect all your all your other wood from, although the mine shaft is under there, and you don't have to worry about that. There's wood, but at first glance it's a little misleading. And at the back it's all covered in actually bedrock walls all the way up to the height of the sky or whatever. You can't build any higher. If you travel that far, you can check it out. And in the corners there are some islands and other biomes, so this is kind of interesting. I also thought this would make a great screenshot, saying, when you saw it, you're like, why is there a big floating square of bedrock? And I put that in the map post. But, and the, I don't remember if I said this or not, but I originally started you out, well, it's actually a ocean biome, and ocean biome does not allow passive mobs to spawn, so you have to basically breed the cows and pigs from the beginning. When I originally released the map, one of the items you had to collect was a bookshelf, and if you killed the cows, you're basically toast. So I scrapped that and changed it with the powered rail because you had to get gold for it, and I thought it was a better change. So the survival branch, I actually had somebody say it was their favorite. It did take a long time depending on your skill level. I want to show you this last thing up here. This was actually added in later. Based on my friend Arsmalik's idea. He said, I was just hoping for something more. And I'm like, well, there's a mine shaft under there. No, just something more. So I added, you were too curious. You got the earwax remover, the nose picker, the fingernail trimmer, the eye crust cleaner, and the tongue scraper. 5 senses, I guess. Maybe I could have put armor in there, but a little bit of a help, a little bit of a secret if you didn't know about that. I got the idea from Ars Milik. He said, hey, you could put something up there. I was wondering. But yeah, this is the survival branch. What else could I say about it? Like I said, I definitely wanted a survival genre. It was sort of a huge relief. It went pretty quick. I only had to build this. Oh man, this was sort of the turning point in the map where I said, okay, finally I'm gonna get this thing done. But man, I was I was really it was really tedious up until that point. But I think that's about it for the survival branch. As always, or not as always, but a lot of people comment on the mineshaft. I've never actually explored it. I don't really know what's under other than what I've seen in videos. So that's cool. I like that you found that, guys. I think that's about it. Well, actually, you know what? We could cheat it and go back here and press. Let's see here. Well, this is how you get the brown wool really easily. Just press this button. Boom! We got the brown wool, and we are out of the survival branch. So that means we have one more branch. It's the labyrinthian. We'll definitely be talking about that next time. And once we're done that, in the final episode, we're going to talk about the finale. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. I've enjoyed all the LPs of diversity. No matter if it's negative or positive, it's a very difficult map to balance, but I would really love to see somebody else take this take this idea on and expand it. Maybe more genres that we could add into this. Maybe one day I might do Diversity 2, but at this point, it's such a huge project. I don't know if I could undertake that. It's such a so close to the last one, but keep watching the developer's commentary. I will see you next time, and enjoy your Minecrafting, and we'll see the Labyrinthian branch next time.